Hello students. In dissolution of partnership firm, we have learned and solved some on simple dissolution. Now, we'll see how to solve sums under insolvency situation. Dissolution of partnership firm under insolvency situation. Insolvency. We have learned this term insolvent in standard 11th. Insolvency is a situation where the liabilities are more than the assets. That is, all the assets realized together are not sufficient enough to discharge or pay off all the liabilities. Now, if the assets of business are not sufficient to pay liabilities, then the personal property of partners can be used. In insolvency, any of these situations may arise. Either one of the partner may become insolvent or all the partners may turn out to be insolvent. While solving problems, the initial steps are more or less same as in simple dissolution, but there are some few different steps that we have to follow in case of insolvency. So when one partner becomes insolvent, as we know, the liability of partners is unlimited. The personal property of partners can be used to discharge of the liabilities. If the insolvent partner is not able to bring in any amount he is liable to pay, then this deficiency, that is the shortfall, is to be borne by the other solvent partners in profit sharing ratio. Now, when we solve the sum wherein one partner becomes insolvent, all the steps till the calculation of realization profit or loss is the same. Let's take for example, this is a partner's capital account of ABC. They are sharing profit and loss in the ratio of 3:2:1. The opening capital balance of partner A and B is 30,000 and 20,000. C is having a debit balance of 8,000. The realization loss is given. Now here, the partner C has turned out to be insolvent. So as we know, the liability of partners is unlimited and joint. So here, the personal property of C will be used, and if any amount is received from the personal property, then we have to pass the following entry, that is cash or bank account debit to that insolvent partner's account. So here in this case, suppose if we have received rupees 3,000 from partner C, then we'll write 3,000 on the credit side of C's capital account by cash or bank. Now, first we have to move on and close the insolvent partner's capital account. So we take the total, debit total of partner C's capital account, that is 13,000. Then we calculate the deficiency of partner C, that is a shortfall in amount which he is not able to pay. 13,000 minus 3,000, that is 10,000. So capital deficiency of C is 10,000. Now this 10,000 will be borne by partner A and B in the ratio of 3:2. So when you distribute 10,000 in the ratio of 3:2, A will have to contribute 6,000 towards C's capital deficiency and B will have to contribute 4,000. So to pass this entry, the solvent partner's capital account will be debited, that is partner A and B, and the insolvent partner's capital account will be credited. So the deficiency of 6,000 which is borne by A, we pass the entry as A's capital account debit to C's capital account 6,000, and a deficiency of 4,000 which is borne by B, B's capital account debit to C's capital account 4,000. So now partner C's capital account is closed. Then we'll move on to close partner A and B's capital account. A's credit total is greater, that is 30,000, and B's credit total 20,000. And then when we find out the balancing figure, we get balancing figure in A's capital account as 9,000, B's 6,000. And the second effect of this 9,000 and 6,000 will be shown in cash or bank account. And then when we close cash or bank account, it will tally. Now this was when one of the partner becomes insolvent. When all the partners become insolvent, third-party liabilities may not be paid in full. That is, the deficiency, if any, will be borne by third party. Now here we have to follow the following steps. First, we prepare realization account, partners capital account and cash or bank account, as we did that in simple dissolution sums. But one thing you have to keep in mind, the third party's liability are not to be transferred to realization account. That is, if there are any creditors, bills payable, bank loan, a loan taken from any other institute or person, we don't have to transfer these liabilities to realization account, but we have to prepare a separate account for each of these liabilities. Then we also have to open a deficiency account. After this, if there is any amount received from the insolvent partners, we have to pass this following entry, that is cash or bank account debit to insolvent partners capital account. Then we'll have to proceed further to close the partners capital account. When we close the partners capital account, you may either get a debit balance or a credit balance. If there's a debit balance, then the debit balance of that insolvent partner will be transferred to the debit side of deficiency account. And if there's a credit balance, then the credit balance of that partner will be transferred to the credit side of deficiency account. Then whatever cash is available, we have to use that to pay off the third party's liability. That is the creditors, bills payable, bank loan, bank overdraft, etc. Entry for this is liability account debit to cash or bank account. Now, if the liabilities are more, that is, if the amount of liabilities are more and the cash balance is not sufficient enough to pay off these liabilities, then we have to pay these liabilities proportionately. Let's say, for example, the cash balance available is rupees 20,000. We have creditors rupees 30,000 and bills payable rupees 10,000. Now, our liabilities total up to 40,000. But we have only 20,000 which we can use to pay off these liabilities. So first we find out the ratio of creditors to bills payable. So the ratio of creditors to bills payable is 3:1. Then we divide this 20,000 in the ratio of 3:1 among the creditors and bills payable. So creditors will be paid 15,000 and bills payable will be paid 5,000. Then balance, if any, in these liabilities will be transferred to deficiency account. So in the previous example, the creditors were 30,000 and we paid only 15,000. So the remaining 15,000 which is not paid to the creditors will be transferred to deficiency account. Same in the case of bills payable. Out of 10,000, we paid only 5,000. So the remaining 5,000 will be transferred to deficiency account. So the entry is third party liability account debit to deficiency account. After transferring this to deficiency account, we have to close the deficiency account. Our deficiency account will tally. So this is how we are supposed to solve problems under insolvency. We'll understand this much better when we solve the practical problems. I hope you have understood this theory. Your concepts will be more clear when you solve the problems. Thank you.